Looks like we are up and running. Ah. So I'm going to continue working. Oh, hold on. I'm going to continue working on the marketplace. And I just spotted something that I want to fix. So I don't like how this is framed now. This wall probably needs to move east a little bit. Let's play around with that real quick. Hmm. A little better. Gonna change up some of the stuff that I was playing around with on the stream Wednesday and then yesterday off stream though. More like that. These will have to this way a bit too. I was planning on having some kind of like a loop going over here, but that might be done at this point. These this I'm gonna have to play around with that area again because I was already playing with it. Oh no! My courtyard entrance no longer works. Could be something like this, but might work better with that. More there. And then we gotta collapse these vertices so they're now sitting on top of each other. Again, for anybody who's wasn't in my last stream and is watching this one, I'm doing a lot of just super rough gray boxing right now to try to get the layout of the market area, which is going to be this kind of loop. So, main entrance, and then this area is essentially it's where the more the market buildings are going to be, and then this is just kind of some sprawl that's going to be in here as well. So maybe this like more shady back area, or potentially player housing, that type of thing. And then the idea was this would move down and then cut, and then this would go into our dock and warehouse areas. So moving that to get this to frame better is going to change up a lot of what I've already been playing around with, though. And that's one of the things you just want to make sure when you're doing this stuff, you're paying attention to all the angles, because if you aren't, you might not catch something like that. I don't think I caught that earlier, but I'd rather catch it now before I actually start getting like detailed passes and stuff on these spaces. Maybe something like that. So this becomes its own courtyard. And I'll change up this balcony, which used to be up against that. And then that. It's super small. Let's see if I can save this. Sometimes you just have to. And get rid of things you like. Hey Jake 460. And welcome to the chat. How's it going? Hey Keith, how's it going? Good morning, Hellridge. Hell's Ridge. I don't know why I always feel like I forget the S. Even if I wanted to. That's kind of safe. And then I'll just have a doorway in here. Originally it was a courtyard until I just moved those walls. But I'm gonna allow this to have some courtyard. Question is, do I want to keep this angle right here? Or do I want to straighten that? But I do know I need to. Probably collapse now. AK Bren. I still don't know if I'm supposed to use the name or not. So let's out. Could do. I mean, I guess it could just move all of this over until that's up against the wall again, and then it gives a little bit more space to this area, but then I do lose kind of this back part area. Decision. Hmm. Like that. Okay. Originally, I was using that to try to keep players from getting up onto the wall. They actually did work. What I was trying to do with it. So I guess it's not that big of an issue. They're changing it up. Oh, I know what this is from. This is from the balcony, but on the other side of it. Um, let's just this. I'll probably end up using this for a doorway at some point, so I'll just keep the collapse in it. Something like that. So how are you guys doing this morning? I know my Friday streams were normally going to be TLP, but since I put off a development stream um, on Monday, I was tired from all the walking around, rib cook off. Um, I decided to do some more uh, gray boxing today. And then probably next week we'll get back to Fridays being my TLP day. Back in the office. Oh, um, and I know um, I mentioned that I'm doing these super rough. Something like this, I am doing a little more refined. Yeah, refined if I could speak. Um, except it's really not refined at the same time. But the reason I'm doing that is because these shapes are a little weird, anyways, and I'm trying to like just get my mind wrapped around how I want to do some of these shapes. So what I'm essentially thinking about is have to fix that at some point. Um, oh, is this still on? I'm gonna fix that. Hold on. There we go. Now it's true. Much better. messed up this. So yeah, what I'm thinking about, as you kind of walk into here. This may have, obviously this has the stairwell up the back or ramp, whichever I decide to do. I'm thinking some sort of little archway type thing here, kind of like this. And then I guess I could do the archway and carry over the balcony. I thought of that earlier, but whatever. This little archway back here will have the stairwell. Probably starting right here, going up here, and then the ability, there'll be a little stairwell here up into this space. This space will be a little balcony, and then you get into the upper floor of this one. There's chat. Is this your game pages, or do you get paid to work on the project? Oh, you're new to the project entirely. So what we're doing, I'm actually part of a team. We're building a proof of concept for an indie MMO RPG that is very rooted in design choices from like the first generation of MMORPGs. So like the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000 era. So EverQuest, Ultima Online, Asheron's Call, Dark Age Camelot, like those kind of first generation of them. So the team's about, or not about, it's 11 developers right now, and Epic is giving me advertisements. But anyways, yeah, so we've been working on this. I've been on the team for 10 months now, something like that. 9 or 10 months. But the game's been in development for just under 2 years. So this is a rework of our city zone that I've been building up. We have a whole bunch of different zones that are kind of built out already in blockout form. And then I've been doing kind of a rebuilding stuff, kind of fit our updated lore. The city itself's taking a while just because there's so much going on. But the idea is we're working this way, going which is the west side, going east. And this is the area that we're focusing on more, just because there's more of the newbie experience kind of here. And then I also need to touch up on the newbie yard itself, and then work into Shaded Dunes, which is going to be this area beyond. But yeah, so if you want to check it out, that link I sent was our website. And then this is a link to our Discord if you are interested in joining it. We are just shy of 1,000 members in the Discord. I think we're at 996 when I checked this morning. So we're getting close to that milestone. Should be within the next couple days, which would be awesome. And then we also have a mailing list you can join to stay up to date if you're interested in staying up to date with the game. Paid employees. So now we are currently everybody is volunteering their time to the project. We're doing that for kind of multiple reasons. One, don't want to, and again, like other team members have said, not knocking on other games, but we don't want to necessarily go with the crowdfunding up front type of approach, at least right now, while we're building out the concept. So we've got, and I think it's 8-ish proof of concept zones that we're building out to kind of see if we can kind of find the game, find the fun, find everything, and get that kind of like vertical slice and proof out our ideas. in that space. So we've got some dungeons, we've got some newbie yards, and various outdoor and indoor zones that we'll be building and testing out. And we want to really kind of get that experience from 1 to 60 within that space locked in before we think about other uh, ways of funding, whether we do go crowdsourcing, or we go early access, or if we find a publisher to partner with, or like an angel investor or something like that. That'll be down the lines, but for now it's just volunteer time. Um, and then like he said, revenue sharing. Hey, Ishvatari, how you doing? I am doing pretty well. Is the game going to be similar to Pantheon? It is going to be an MMORPG. Pantheon is, I think, focused a little more on being somewhat innovative, but keeping that kind of hardcore, slow, grindy way of playing, where we are trying to kind of be more of an homage and feel like we are back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So similar but different. I mean, a couple months ago, Pantheon, Visionary Realms, I guess, was talking about how they're not making a niche game. We are very much making a niche game. We are targeting people that really like playing on P99, or like they like that type of experience. That's what we're going for. We're specifically targeting a small niche market within the MMO genre that we feel is not necessarily addressed. Where there's a lot of games, that are out there that are trying to be, the next WoW killer, or something like that. Which I'm not saying Pantheon's trying by any means. The next WoW killer, but so yeah, we have different styles of approach to trying to recapture that old school feel. I guess is the best way I can explain it, which I'm not the most articulate person in the world, so I do apologize. uh, let's see. What else? Bridge. Oh yeah. Ari's talking. Oh yeah. A long time ago, I just got lucky for a couple of days. Somewhere I can see the companies trying to force their employees back to the culture. Okay. Way back, talking about getting back into the office. Fester, it's probably fair to say the original nugget of the idea that started both the games is similar, but they're probably not going to end up similar. Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to articulate. I think we both are looking to really capture that that old school feel. I think we're going about it two different ways, which is fine. You know, I think it's good to have different takes on this. You know, what's nostalgic to me might not be nostalgic to somebody else, and things like that. So, it'll be interesting. I'm hoping both of us are successful. And then Keith agreed. I'm okay with or yeah, I'm in Oklahoma and in the lumber industry, so there is a lot of old school thinking about things. Although my job is or could be 100% I did good. I'm assuming you're talking about me being articulate, so I appreciate that. Again, I like to stumble over my own tongue a lot. Currently studying for certification, or yeah, a certificate. to try to make a career switch to IT. Oh, awesome, Ellsworth. Good luck with the studying for the IT. Good. And Keith says he is in IT. Um, is there a part of Night Harbor you haven't touched yet? Crazy amount of work you've done. Um, so I have not touched the Necropolis area. I did put a green light over here just to one of the concepts for it. Uh, had this kind of greenish gray. Now, granted, I didn't match the color. This is way too saturated, but I was just trying to see. I was actually playing around with that earlier this morning. But probably would need this a little less. Somewhere. I can color match it. But, so that it kind of has that otherworldly feel over in the Necropolis area. So I haven't really touched that. And I haven't really. I have and I haven't. So the Benz hasn't really been touched. I did a little bit of boxing out of the concept area, but I need to extend that down here and up here. And the layout of the Benz itself is going to take a while. This area is similar, where it's kind of working on the sprawl and stuff like that. Except besides, I can keep the ground pretty flat here for the most part. Working on a gradient is going to be more of a challenge. But if you go back to watch one of the streams we were doing on Sean's, where we were in like a group, kind of like discussing how we wanted to lay out the city. We did do like a real quick where I just threw a bunch of buildings in there, and we ran around, and it started to get the feel already real quickly of what we wanted, but there was no thought behind it. I deleted that because I did so much in that scene that was just like really quickly done so that the stream wouldn't take forever, and messed up a bunch of stuff, so it was just easier to delete. But eventually we need to go back there and actually kind of like think about like where the paths and stuff are going to be. Again, kind of thinking about this, that you'll have this flow into here, this way, and this way. We'll have some loops. This is going to kind of go over to here. I haven't decided if you're going to be able to walk along the wall or not. And then there's, this kind of route here. So just kind of thinking about how to kind of build up the pathways and the streets and stuff, and walling some areas off, and where are the choke points? Where, granted, we're not doing it first, but where are the paths? Where are the points where if you're trying to get from point A to point B, how do you get there? Where the areas you can't get to, or you have to take like shortcuts and jump up on the stuff and jump over stuff like that. So it'll be a different challenge there, especially because we're going to be able to have overlap. So as the gradient's over here, and if my hands are building, I could potentially have it on stilts, so we can have players running under stuff or shops and stuff down there. Also, that's going to be an encounter space, so there's going to be all sorts of things we're going to think about, like where do we want the encounters, and things like that. Let's see. But yes, it has been a crazy amount of work. I mean, the garrison alone was a little bit more work, and it's still not done. I still have to do the towers. Like, all these big towers do not have anything in them yet. And then after all that, I have to cut the windows. So, there'll be windows and stuff to look out onto the world. So, this is a gigantic undertaking. Just this. I mean, the garrison itself could almost be its own zone. There's so much stuff going on in it. Same thing with over here. I mean, this area could essentially be, this area itself could be its own zone. This could be its own zone. Or this whole spot could be its own. So Night Harbor itself is almost multiple zones. that's how kind of how I'm breaking it down in my head. Is each district is could, if we wanted to or needed to, break it off into its own section. Although we're building it in one scene currently, if we find as we start to populate stuff and there's players running around, if we did need to like do Night Harbor A, Night Harbor Docks, Night Harbor, Tier 1, Tier like however we could break those into multiple zones if we needed to. We'll see. And Keith says he's doing something. Okay. And Hellsbridge is studying for a C. Have you seen the new movie? Might be some desert inspiration there. Yeah, I did see the new Dune movie. I enjoyed it. There's definitely some cool, excellent visuals. Belfester says, when you're making a new building or piece of geo, is there a point in mind where you like to throw a texture on it, even if it's a placeholder? Just curious if there's a checklist or something on your mind. So when it comes to the geo, and you'll notice some of these things are I have done that and thrown on placeholder textures. Some of these I haven't. So things that I know I'm probably going to be adjusting still, I try to keep it this way so that I can be like, one, I can visually go, okay, I need to go back to here. All right, I need to go back to this. Like something's not done. But keeping the grid on there just makes life easier when you're blocking the stuff out because you visually know the scale. So I can look here and be like, okay, this is 2 meters. A player would fit technically in this space. 2 high, 1 wide. I know a human player is a little shorter than this. So it just makes keeping the scale, easier. For the most part, I've been doing pathways about 4 wide. Stairs I've been doing sometimes 3 when I want it to feel a little bit more narrow. But I can eyeball it. The stories of buildings are between 4 and 5 high. To get a little bit of variation, so everything doesn't feel too systematic. But once I kind of have it where I know I'm not going to be doing too much more with it, that's when I'll throw textures on it. Unless we really needed like a beauty shot of something, and really wanted, a look. It doesn't take much to throw materials on here. It takes a little bit more time to take them back off and throw the grid back on and get the grid scaled. So as I'm working, and like, especially at this stage, everything stays in grid. And then as I get closer to, all right, these are the final, are close to the finalized dimensions, I'll throw placeholder materials on there. And some of these materials might be ones that we use, but they might not be the ones that are on these buildings specifically. It might be different textures, or it may have. Oh, there's a giant seam right there. Let's fix it. There we go. Is it on the other side too? Not a big deal. But there's other things that we might be doing to help break up repetitiveness and stuff like that, whether it's grunge maps or decals projected on. Over here we've had talks about maybe putting some more of these kind of like wood pieces and stuff sticking off of that, which I think will be kind of along those, to kind of give it a little bit more of a visual and to give a little bit of separation. But we need to do a pass on what all the textures we want, like, and stuff like that. But let's keep iterating on designs. But like once we start adding trims, so like once we have some of these materials that have like a whole bunch of trims in them, those trims can be used on top of buildings or at the base of buildings, or even in the even I don't know if there's any. This doesn't have an example of it, but potentially like a separate. Actually, you know what? I have some. So even like this, just to help break it up, um, and allow you to, not just have flat brick walls, which some of some of that we will have, but sometimes it's nice to just be able to break up repetition, and make it makes it more complex and more visual on the eye. It's obviously easy also to go way too much into that stuff where it just is super noisy. So it's just kind of finding the balance. So as we get more and more of these concepts and develop more of these trims, we can actually build these into trim sheets, which is just a texture that has seamlessly tiled either vertically or horizontally. Vertically, I guess, horizontally. Um, and will allow us to kind of just slap materials on there. Some of that material work will probably be done in Maya, just because it's easier to manipulate. At least for me, it's easier to manipulate. The like the editor here for um, Drill Builder definitely leaves uh, some things to be desired. Although it's really easy to like get just nice layouts, like real flat ones, real quick, which is great. But like the finer detail type stuff is kind of a pain. But and then it likes to break as you're around. So, uh, but that's kind of my approach to it. Um, Speaking of the group screen, do you all have plans for another one of those? I enjoyed the insight. I'm sure we'll be doing more of those in the future. We don't have any plans for those, like planned for one, like, oh, we're going to do it on this date. But as we get to new spots, I do not see why we would not do that. It was fun to do on stream and be able to engage with everything. Um, so I'm sure we'll do another one of those at some point. Whether it's on Night Harbor or another zone, or whether it's on um, zone design or classes, it could be all sorts of things. Take that in different directions. Sure. Going to be cool walking around the city. Yeah, it's been fun already. It's really fun, watching it come alive too. Is like Nick had actually, you know what? That reminds me. I was running around here this morning and I realized this was floating. Um, but there's like NPCs that are just off to ground. It may not be grounded perfectly, but it'll be grounded. And again, the terrain and stuff, I'm gonna be fixing more and more as I start settling in. That's where the stuff's going to be. So as you see us running around on stream, if you see some crazy like sand going on or like flickering and stuff like that, know that that will be gone. Um, but I'll be wasting a lot of time manipulating terrain on if I before I've locked in on locations because I'm gonna have to fix it again. Um, Once you add one texture, then you'll want to add more. Yeah, it does snowball because then all of a sudden you get like stuff like this where it's like, oh, these aren't textured, but the rest of this is textured. And then like you get these larger areas, and you're like, oh, this needs some contrast, so this needs a different texture, or I need to add um, some sort of grunge map or something down here, make this pop. There's all sorts of things like that that start coming up as you start adding more and more textures. But right now, my main focus is get the city built, and then get it built, then do a nice then start doing passes on textures and start doing passes on um, more um, like environment assets and props and stuff like that. So like crates and stuff. And there have been places where I've played around with that a little bit here and there, just to kind of get a feel for how some of these things would look. Like down here in the storage area, there's some stuff. Um, but yeah, you know, those are things that will come with time. So, like all these rooms need beds, stuff like that. Um, there'll need to be a pass on doors. Doors are going to take a bit because not only are they like physically placed, they have to be placed in the database. So we have to do database entries for each one of those. Whether they have keys or not have to be put in. So there's a whole bunch of work that goes into it. I'm sure at some point on stream I'll be sitting here doing doors over and over and over and over again on stream. So stay tuned for that. Um, if you are watching, haven't already thrown a like, or not a like, a follow to the channel. Want to see that? You gotta make sure to follow the channel. Um, but yeah. Uh, does the beige default versus the white default mean anything different? So I had a beige color that I was throwing on stuff at one point to allow me to select stuff. I messed up my palette, so I haven't been using it. Um, but ideally, what I would be doing, and I need to set up um, it at some point. Also, I think I've gotten to the point where, yeah, um, the vertex colors are broken with Pro Builder, so I think I just have so much going on in the scene. Pro Builder broke. It like works on some things, but not others. Um, so that's part of the reason. I think I've just overloaded Pro Builder. I've used too many vertex colors. Not like but I'm not 100% sure on that. That's just a guess. So that's why they've been white. When I'm building like dungeons and stuff, what I've been doing is I'll give the floor color, I'll give the walls a color, I'll give the ceiling a color. That way I can really like select this vertex color. So for instance, if I go here and grab this, I can say uh, select color, and I can select all of those surfaces with that color, and then I can just throw a material on there. Um, that's the point of it. I've just again, this scene is just so gigantic that there's something that Pro Builder's not liking. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah. So the rest of this will probably be white just because I haven't figured out what the problem is or how to fix it. Um, but it's not that big of a deal. But it defaults to white. Let's get back to building. Um, uh, ooh, there it is. How nice is Pro Builder going? Gonna let me edge slide this? That would be awesome. I just want to make sure that that is a mute. Oops, I don't want that. I didn't do it. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 5, oh, 5 and this one. I was going to do this. fusion method, but instead of fighting it, trying to figure out where this. Go. And again, this is super kind of just like representative. Take two details this right now. Just playing with the overall shapes. For instance, like these arches would probably have another subdivision when I do a more detailed pass on these buildings. I'm just trying. Right now, I'm purely worried about where buildings are, where passages are between buildings, where um, like how the flow is. I don't know if I like it having that. No, technically, the end better. It was. So again, without having, I mean, even if we had a specific like street by street map drawn out for this, there would still be a little bit of how does that translate from 2D to 3D? Because rarely is it a one for one. There's usually, like something might look great top down, but then you get into the third dimension, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, how does this work? For instance, um, go to Goblin's concept here. This building, which is what we're using, what our current idea for the entranceway to the market district is. Um, this looks awesome, um, and this looks awesome. But then there's this gap in here where there's the like stalls and stuff. So how much depth is there? And it adds questions that you have to kind of figure out in 3 dimensions. So currently, I just kind of how I played around with it. I think this needs to actually boot up. I made it too when I scaled it on stream the other day. I think it gave it too much space. Um, so you know, there's a little bit more depth here than the image had, and then there could be that bar, and then the flags draping down and stuff like that. But again, this is super representational. Obviously, there's no jewel here. I didn't actually bring in the image for this. I just am worried about scale right now. I'm not worried about aesthetic. Um, Purely block out gray boxing. So yeah, with 2D stuff, sometimes you still have to kind of play around with it. Uh, why are you not? Oh, because I've broken stuff. thinking about having a little. Oops, what nothing happened here. That's just bad. So hold on, I'm gonna have to go down this edge, not have split on that vertex. Oop, I did that one. Probably did something, but it right now appears to just in Maya. I could just highlight the entire mesh and tell it to collapse vertices down, and that would be it. If there were issues, fixed. For the most part, there are times, I guess, that doesn't hold true, but probably like 9. Sean was here. It's kidding. I can go in. That's uh, again, I'm just kind of freestyling this. So some of it's just kind of experimentation, trial and error, that kind of thing. I feel like this roof needs to get broken up. That like it's flat. So I might add like height to one of the spots. but I'll do that later. Add some. I'm just gonna add ramps. Or no, I should just build the stairs. I'll do the work twice. All right, so this is 5. Oops. Shoot, no, I might have to make this one. Stair number. Probably gonna use stairs that I've been doing. Probably. Oh wow, they're just gonna. Have to. Just, um, there we go. I don't know why my brain was not. Oh, and I'm here. And I'm just gonna delete the top step. That side or that side. Here, that. Just grab this. That way, that there's no text. There won't be any weird textures. And Probably should have. Eventually, I want a doorway there. Like there's gonna be a doorway, but that'll be more on the refined path. Right now, I'm just worried about the players being able to kind of move. And right here is gonna be one of. There we go. Like I know there's one like right around here. For, this would be there one. Figure out whether I want it to be centered or kind of set to the side. Honestly, because I'm gonna have a doorway here, I kind of like it. This is another reason why it's just really nice to be able to keep the grid on as long as you can um, as a world builder. It's a it helps center stuff and get scale right right off the bat. So you optimize as you build out the level. That's probably the way to go. I would definitely put off the credit. So what's going to end up happening is once everything's kind of locked in, I think my plan is right now I haven't optimized this yet. Um, I think what I'll do is once this part is built out, like the which is like Night Harbor goal A, I guess. I'll probably do an optimization pass on those. That way, things can be reused real easily as we build into like this area and this area, um, and even into this area if I decide to want to use some of these buildings over here. Um, and then um, so export these out, bring them into my, clean them up, bring them back in, that type of thing, and then go from there. So that's kind of what my plan is. You'll see if I alter that plan or it doesn't work. But I'd rather do it. I'd rather do it on a test when I have small area like this done, and I put small area in quotes. Actually, there is a lot going on, and there will be more. So here and here, and then there needs to be more stuff throughout here and throughout here. Um, so yeah, once this whole area kind of is brought in, exported out, test that process, and then go from there. And I mean, test that process is not, um, I guess, true because I've already tested bringing stuff out, bringing stuff in, and kind of know what to expect from that. But that is my plan. Um, and then doing the same with Rome, Spain, and stuff as well. We're seeing right there. probably mean. Okay, so got that. This will be a balcony. Actually, I might. Then have this. Actually, no, what? I know. Like this. I almost feel like there should be something over here. But let's run around real quick. See how it's feeling now that I've. Oh, you know what? There was one other thing I wanted to fix. This fountain. Ah, I need to fix this wall, so otherwise people are just gonna fall through the world. Maybe I'll do that next. Wall. Where's the cleric guild? I wonder if that was on the layout. I don't remember where the cleric guild is. That's actually one of the few classes I don't know off the top of my head in like a generic area where it's. I'm going to make an assumption. I do not remember this off the top of my head. Um, and say that it's going to be somewhere probably back in that area. Um, but that's just a guess. I do not remember it off the top of my head. So this is better framing now. It's not cut off here. I do some like tree. Apparently, I messed up that point, but I'll have to get somewhere in the Night Harbor vicinity. Exactly. Um. So yeah, this kind of walks in. This might need to get pushed back a little bit more. This is going to have one of these large um, kind of awnings. Have it attached there, I guess. Um, and then this will be a street. No, I was just playing around with a real blocky there. And then there'll be kind of like stables and stuff. Or not stables, but like market stalls. Um, kind of coming off of there. These will probably have marketing stuff or like dividers. And then this will again have like stalls and like um, you know things built into buildings, like some of the concepts, back alleys, second stories, so we can put like apartments and stuff. And then I did smaller versions of the. I think this one might end up getting some market stalls. One over by the docks is much thinner. Um, I think again, this area is more where the markets are going to be, and then this might be some market stuff kind of spread around, but maybe there buildings. I'll have to see how it fills out once we start bringing in stuff to make it look like a market. Um, but yeah, this area could potentially use something, whether it's like a point of interest type thing or just buildings, maybe smaller buildings. Revere. Thank you for the follow and welcome to chat. How's it going? To bring these down, kind of more the other arches away. Actually, have like a gate that is really tall. I need to bring it way down. Going good? Awesome. Glad to hear it. Are you familiar with the project we're working on, or are you new? I have some links I can share if you are not aware. Oh, and we are losing that. Nope, just found me. Awesome. Well, welcome. Um, so we are building a indie MMO that is very inspired by the kind of first generation of MMOs. Um, Ridge, thanks for the follow. Um, so think your EverQuest's Ultima Online. Ooh, that does not work at that angle anymore. That is. I like that little entrance. Um. Anyways, the um, we're building right now. We're building out a proof of concept for the game. So we have got a couple different proof of concept zones, like a city zone, which I'm working on rebuilding right now. Um, we've got some dungeons, some lobby dungeons, outdoor zones, some really large outdoor zones. Um, so we're kind of tucked into a small corner of our overall continent. Um, but we're working on building that out. If you're interested in um, awesome is this? No, we're in Unity, um, and right now, as I'm like gray boxing out everything, we've been using Pro Builder, which is um, in Unity. So yeah, just kind of been building that out. Let me pop back out of here. And we've got a bunch of other stuff going on already. So we've got combat in, we've got a lot of that kind of stuff already up and going. The game's been being worked on for just shy of 2 years. I've been on the project for like 9, 10 months, something like that. So we have the city that we've been working on. I recently built out these trees and kind of proofed out the concept that works for us. We like the um, kind of having the nice shadows that is using the more modern lighting, but trying to keep it more of a old school um, EverQuest style tree, which is just cards. So built these trees out in Speed Tree and then Atlas them, and then took the Atlas images and turned those into a, uh, a texture that has all of the um, has all the textures kind of built into it, and then kind of went from there. So we kind of got that old school look, but with nicer lighting, because we don't have this the lighting. Oh, I guess the sun isn't at the right angle. It looks really bad from above without the extra cards. So uh, uh, YouTube videos were good to watch to get an idea of the game. Yes, we have a YouTube channel as well. Um, a lot of the team members, and of course, as I do that, I double hit the button, I guess. Um, a lot of the team actually streams, about half of us. These are the other team members that stream. There's 11 of us total on the team. So if you're interested, throw the other members a follow as well. We all kind of stream our own different aspects of the game. From I'm primarily environment art and level design oriented. And then Sean will kind of do general overviews of the project. He helps out, helps me blocking out some of the zones that I haven't gotten to yet, so that we have them, they're represented, they're there, and then I can iterate on them once I finish working on our city here. He also helped Zukin with animations and um, does some design stuff as well. Zukin is our character art and critter art person. He does textures and animation like that revolve around our players and these. Uh, Goblin does a little bit of everything. He's primarily our concept artist. So if you see me bring up concept sketches or concept paintings or anything like that, those are Goblins. And then he also will do a little bit of modeling work or model adjustments. Does a lot of texture work as well. He's done some animations, although I think the animations he did have been released. The characters have been an ongoing iteration in how the UV stuff and how the models have been built. So some of those initial animation passes have gone away as we've improved other parts of the models and stuff like that. So we built the characters in a modular way so that we can paint the texture for the armor set once, and then it will be across all of our player races, with the expectation that there's probably going to be a wrench thrown in that theory once we get to our uh, deep dwarfs, because they're very different. It will more than likely have to figure out how the system is going to work with them, or have their own armors. Um, yeah, so here's all the different races that we have. All these images I'm bringing up real quickly, if you want to look at them, they're either available on the website or in one of the channels on our Discord, which I provided a link for. We have a pretty decent sized community in there. We are closing in on 1,000 members, which we are, I just looked, we're 3 away, so 3 people away from 1,000 members in the community. Which is cool. It's a cool community. It's fairly active. We talk about our game. We talk about game designs or game design in general, MMOs, tabletops, all sorts of different things. We have members that share their own art and stories and stuff like that, which is always really fun and inspiring to see. Um, so yeah. And I know as I was doing my spiel there, there was some other stuff. So let me go back and look. Cypher, all right, I already mentioned this. By the way, welcome to the chat, Cypher. Those trees look good. Thank you. Uh, Yellow fine. Thank you. Kind of galaxies mixed with old sprite-based concepts. Yep. Yeah. So we're the aesthetic goal that we are going with is to kind of keep that old school kind of blocky, chunky aesthetic, um, and update it a little bit with higher quality textures, um, without relying too much on like spectral shine or glossiness or roughness. Um, Obviously, we do have a little bit here and there. So like we have it in our water. Our water is obviously reflective. Our crystals are going to be. So we're kind of picking and choosing where things will have some glossiness or smoothness, roughness, depending on what program you're in. It's all the same, but different software calls it different things. Um, so keeping that, and then trying to have more of a hand painterly look to our textures, um, than like uh, the first generation. The first generation looked more like photo reference, and then kind of painting over photo reference, um, where we're going for more of a hand that kind of make it feel more like an oil painting, one of the old school like 70s um, and 90s like fantasy paintings. Um, awesome. Uh, have you guys started any net code testing, etc.? Yeah, yeah. So we have, um, yeah, we can group already. If you go into the VODs, you can actually see us play testing as a team. There's various play testing we've done, 2 mans, 3 mans, 6 mans. Um, we've got combat in. So if I go in, um, I'm right now logging into the server. So we've got accounts. We've got uh, the ability to log into different characters, create characters. You can go ahead and customize. Oh, this one isn't working. This is actually one of the newer systems we're putting in. This version doesn't have the ability to actually do that. open. Oh my gosh, the right button. There we go. So yeah, we got that. We've got NPCs. We've got banks. We've got quest support stuff set up already. Got done. We got a newbie dungeon. If Nick is put buddy actually banker in the bank. Banker is now in the bank. Let's speak up. But yeah, so we've got characters. And, um, got your skull. All the UI and stuff you're seeing is super placeholdery right now. Got some critters out here that you can fight. Oh, I have sounds off. What does that look like? There we go. Some of again, some of these animations are placeholdery, but been slowly over the years, or not over the year, replacing our characters with Dupin's critters. We used to watch some of the old VODs. We had capsules, which I don't know if there's a capsule in. We have a capsule in this one, but and out here, the geo is super rough. I was playing around with this and then didn't really do it. And then we've got a newbie dungeon over here. This whole area is going to be ruins. And this is just a super placeholdery shape that was not concepted at all. So it'll probably look better than that eventually. Great. I've been working on a little space trucking MMO in Unity. Oh, nice. Yeah, all the bread and butter mechanics. Vector some salad. Yeah, yeah. We the tech side is definitely done a lot. We still got some bugs here and there. Our goal is to have testing, some community-based testing. That is still leaking. Oh, you know what? I think that is. No, that is really true. There's an issue with some of these shadows. We need to on tech side. One thing we do need to do is set up like calling for the lighting. So the lights, one area has a lot of shadows enabled, and if you look towards it right now, it's visually kind of see the lag spikes. So we need to either call the lights entirely or just disable the shadows. Anyways, yeah, kind of worked on this little dungeon. Really dark in here. I don't work. Yeah, we need to profile that and figure it out. I'm guarantee it's these blue lights. So definitely some optimization. passes, stuff like that that are needed. Down into this ossuary. I need to actually work on getting these more, getting some more variety in there. Yeah, these ones definitely feel like they're contributing. And I don't know why it's the blue ones that have been giving us problems. And then we need to do some actual like texture passes. Right now, these are just all kind of reusing the same similar textures. So eventually, these need art passes. These banners need the Worm's Bane um, uh, heraldry figured out and put in there. These characters need to be more spectral ghosts as opposed to solid humans. But yeah, it's been coming along. This dungeon itself, I think, was made in late February, over like a day and a half, something like that. Yeah, it's definitely the that are causing it. Let's figure out what's going on with that. Great work, but thank you. Definitely appreciate it. So you said you're working on a space trucking MMO. Is that what do you mean by space trucking? Is it kind of like taking cargo from one system to the other type of a experience, or is there going to be like combat, like defending stuff? Do I need to step back, or we need to move the stone line slightly? Okay. Like that sounds fun. Are you working on that by yourself, or are you working on that one in a team? Wow. This part feels like it needs something, whether it's a point of interest or if it's mostly yourself at the moment with help from artists that are slowly becoming awesome at Thunder. Awesome. It's definitely it's one of those things that takes a little bit to get used to everything. I primarily am Maya based. I'm just way faster at it. But I did learn Pro Builder for this um, project because I wanted to be able to edit in Engine real quick. But also, the limitations of Pro Builder seem to actually help us with our trying to hit that old school blocky aesthetic. Although some of this stuff, like these, were done in Maya just because it's here to uh, do some of the details like this uh, when you can actually like edge slide. Same thing with this guy, uh, guild hall building were done in Maya. So some stuff is Maya, some stuff is done here in Pro Builder, and using Pro Builder in a way that it probably was not used, but um, it's fun. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I think it's good at is whipping things together real quickly. I'm more of a Unreal um, person myself. My day job is actually teaching game design in college, at college level. Um, so I teach uh, Unreal. Uh, I'm definitely more comfortable with it. And before I got on this project, I was it probably been a solid 6 or 7 years since I'd used Unity. So there was a whole bunch of things that had changed, and Pro Builder was not, I don't think, part of Unity back then. Um, so it took a little bit of time to get used to it, but definitely been helpful. And then the plan is to just take it, export it all out to Maya, and then clean it up, bring it back in as an FBX. Yep, exactly. Yeah, so I'll do all the cleanup work in Maya. For the most part, I think I'll be able to use a lot of the GO itself. It's just going to need stuff. And then, if we're using like trim sheets or something on that to add more detail and more, visual interest, um, I'm way, way faster at that type of work Maya than I am Pro Builder. Pro Builder's like manual drive me insane. So I definitely like pixel perfect alignment type stuff. So I don't pull out what little hair I have left trying to get it to work with Pro Builder. Hey Zukin, how's it going? I wanted to select. Using a new mic today? Nope. Using my snowball stuff. Do I sound different? Oop, actually, realized my music stopped playing. Yes. Okay. Sounds different, yeah. Like you're talking through a tube. Um, Weird. I'll have to listen to it. Is that definitely quieter? Weird. Um, I guess the noise gate stuff. I'd asked when I did it, but I did it a couple weeks ago. When I put the noise filter or the filters on. Um, let's try. Noise gates. Does that sound any better? No, the headset mic isn't even plugged in. The headset is literally just plugged. Just the just the audio pickup for me is plugged in to my speaker. Nick was saying there was an audio issue, and we thought it was that was not what I wanted to put. Whatever. Thought it was the mic picking up the sound of what was coming through my speakers, but apparently that is not the case. Not really. Then didn't do anything. Is that any better? Or does it still sound weird, like I'm in a tube? The only other thing to do is play around with the gate. Doesn't sound like anything changed. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to reset this up, but I'm gonna delete my noise gate real quick and see. 3227. All right. Did that change anything? Unless. Hold on. Did it do what I think it might have done? No, it's still coming up through the snowball. I was trying to use my my Bluetooth earlier before stream, but I was having an issue. So I was wondering, did it default to that and then inside this little thing? So I'm like, oh, that could be why, and it'd be weird that you guys didn't even hear him. No, it's cool though. Don't want to hold up the whole stream. Also, at the same time though, I need to figure out what the heck is going on with all of these weird audio issues that I've been having. Whoop, that does not have a face. Which makes me wonder if somewhere else has that same issue. That fixed it? Much better? Okay, it's my noise gate, so I'm gonna have to play around with that more. You guys might be hearing my fan in the background now, though. And when it gets hot again, the AC sound's gonna end up happening. So I'll have to try to see if I can fine-tune the settings so that you guys can hear me without making me sound weird and not hear my AC as much when it's running. But yeah, if you guys ever do notice anything weird with my audio, just let me know and I'll try to fix it. I'd rather be able to do, like, analyze and fix the stuff this way, because it sounded fine when I did a recording and tried it, so I'm not sure if it 100% is a match when I do the recording versus when I am streaming. Let's delete those. Whatever that thing was he held up must have been the mic. I didn't hear. No, that was just, it's just a wireless case. I was trying to do that instead of using these. But when I went to start my stream and started playing the music, everything was fine until I turned on the streaming software, and then it just killed the audio coming through my headphones. So I was like, oh, sweet. So I just, oh, excuse me, I'm fighting hiccups again. So I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to use the wired ones. Honestly, I'm old school like that anyways. I prefer wired headphones. I was annoyed when phone companies started getting rid of the headphone jack. It was the 3.5 millimeter jack or whatever it's called. I'm the same way with wireless keyboards and mice and gaming controllers. I prefer everything wired because I hate dealing with batteries that die. Drives me insane. I'd rather it just work. That's been going to my eye. There we go. That's better. Alright. Let's clean up this seam so I don't get bug reports about people falling through my geometry. I use wire stuff mostly, but I can, but I can't not have wireless headset at this point. Too many times yanking it out, or the wire just getting in the way. Yeah, the wire definitely gets in the way, but I don't know. Trust me, I'd rather untangle the mass of massive wires than I would not being able to listen to stuff anymore. It drives me crazy if I go on a I like to go on like hikes and stuff. If I'm on a hike and my my headphones die like in the middle of the hike, it drives me crazy. Also very handy to take a poop break without missing raid calls. I may or may not have in the past played EverQuest while in the bathroom using streams or Steam's streaming capability to your phone. You just set up as long as your macros are set up correctly, you can do it. Shoot, I should have moved that over more. Damn it. Well, until I decide whether there's going to be a building or here or not, we'll just make a building here. Yeah, you can, if you're playing through Steam, you can, there's an app, at least for or for Android, that you can stream your game from your computer to your phone, and if you with EverQuest, if you're at like a camp or something and you don't have to like run around, you can get away with it by just using macros. So if you have everything set up on your hotbar, like the assist and your spells and stuff like that, you can play and nobody knows. Neck is stiff. Yeah, nobody's the wiser. Unless, of course, you're like, you know, in Discord. Then depending on how loud you're being, people might know. Okay, there was something I needed to fix over here. Oh, yeah, this. Oop, hold on. Alright, there we go. I'm going to save this because I want to use it somewhere, but it will not work there. We'll tuck it below the city for now. It's going to be one of those weird things that like someone will go into our world zones sometime in the future and be like, what is this weird random thing that's floating around down here? I only say that because I may or may not have done that with several EverQuest zones back in the day. In fact, actually I could probably show one real quick. I've said this before on stream. I at one point was started like gray boxing out a re-envisioning of Plane of Disease and Crushbone. Crushbone was just going to be like an updated look, and then Plane of Disease I was going to make it look more like it was diseased. But I had ripped this file to get the dimensions of it. And where am I? And I noticed there's like this weird like sword-shaped piece of geo. Where is it? Ah, here it is. That looks like it was... I just wish I could control the camera speed in this app. That would make my life so much easier. Anyways, there's this like weird kind of sword shaped. It right there, it doesn't look like a sword, but if you get the angle right, you can see, I guess it's a doorway. or something, but it's just kind of chilling in there with no purpose. So I'm sure this was at one point when the zone was being designed, being used for something, and then it got axed and is not being used for something. Just like the hair trees that are kind of down below. So. Okay, let's get back to this. So yeah, again, process of just kind of playing around to get some more interesting shapes. As I'm moving through the space. So now I can have, you know, a balcony kind of coming off of this, and a balcony coming off of this. I just have to figure out how I want these like interiors to lay out. Although there's a lot of balcony space coming off of one specific like area. Unless this is a balcony from this way. This is a balcony for this one. And this, okay, never mind. We're good. As I say, I'm like, I'm just having like one long hallway room with all these spots coming off of it. So this is going to be a little square. Although this is probably going to need to change a bit. Since we slid those buildings down, this angle is going to be weird. here. So, just kind of, again, playing around with this. Not sold on that shape, but I'm going to leave it for a little bit to see if I like it or not. Sorry guys, I mean to put that blast in your guys' ear. Which reminds me, one of these was too high. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. And we'll there. Keep that up. Okay, it's working. I still need to figure this out, what's going to be here, or if anything. Let's play around with some shapes. Just make our cube. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, and not quite seven. 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let me double check that my stuff's using gold. That's good. I guess it was right. Sometimes the grid acts weird. Although I do like that angle better. Sorry I'm being so quiet, guys. I'm just, like, zoning into trying to figure out, like, what I want to do with this building. And I guarantee I'm clipping through a wall there. Yep, I'll have to fix that if that's what I decide to do. Ooh, excuse me. I'll have to use my favorite tool in this software to fix this. Oh, it actually cooperated. Awesome. There we go. What? There we go. That's not terrible. Keep changing that between here and there. I might just keep it like that. Or something similar. Emoji only chat. Now, does it automatically set that up, or do I have to do that? I might have to do that. There you go. Now it's emoji only chat. Throw some emojis in there. Alright. The screen makes these emojis. I mean, the emojis are tiny anyways, but the screen I have it on makes it so much harder to see what the heck's going on in there. This is definitely way too close to that wall. Let's go. It's nice feeling this actually like coming together as like a city, because right, this has just been a giant. For anybody who hasn't been hanging out in our streams, this has just been like a big flat open area with like 2 of these sitting in it for the longest time. It's nice to actually feel a city emerging. Hype. I need to work on the emojis for my channel. I keep saying I'm going to do that, and then I never get around to it. Like, part of me wants to sit down and, like, plan out some better emojis instead of, like, some random ones that I did. It doesn't affect mods. Oh, yeah, I guess VIPs as well. Don't get emoji only. There might be a way for me to actually like affect that, but again, it's one of those things like I want to do it, and then I also feel like I could just be working on the game. So it'll eventually happen, though. I have some ideas for new emojis, but a little bit better. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Those and those. Starting to look amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it's starting to feel like a city. Still has a ways to go, but the feeling is starting to be evoked that I'm going for. So again, for anybody who missed the beginning of the stream, this is specifically the market district, but the main market area is going to be kind of like in this kind of almost figure 8 here. And then some in these areas will be some market stalls. And then this area is going to go towards kind of like where the warehouses and the docks and stuff are. The idea that, you know, stuff's coming in from the docks, so it's, you know, it needs a quick way to get to the places where it's going to be sold. And then this area is going to be more of some of that urban sprawl we've talked about. I'll probably continue similar stuff into this area. And then probably some kind of along the wall here into here. I want to play around with having buildings and sprawl up on these areas. I'll probably flatten this out a little bit more to do that, because that's taking up a lot of space. So I'm not sure if I want houses overlooking where the necropolis is going to be or not, but there'll be some houses and housing or buildings up here, so you could potentially have some really cool views from those. Same thing up here, this big plateau, have some buildings and stuff up here. But these ones are going to be more buildings. I don't know if we'll end up making them into player housing or not. I know the idea is to let a lot of these buildings, as we're building them out, leaving them empty inside. That way we can turn them into player housing in the future. And then players could actually be the ones to, you know, go in and decorate and stuff like that. This edge got nudged. Oh, shoot. Did not grab all of that. Do I want to grab all that? I don't know. I think I do, because I think it being just part of that section like that makes it look too modern. So when I'm doing stuff like this, as you guys may notice, I'll be moving around a lot, looking at it from different viewpoints, trying to, you know, get a visual of how these line of sight, what the points of view, the line of sight and stuff is going to be from different angles. That's kind of a cool shot. might be able to make it a little cooler. Oh, come on. Stop. Cool. I may take that back at some point, but it works pretty well. When I get into this interior, though, I may have to change that up, but we'll see. See, what I need is a little bit more. Right now, some of these building tops are getting too flat. I need to break up some of them just a bit. Whether it just makes the ceiling a little tighter, or the inside maybe has a split level or something going on. To make it just a little bit more interesting visually. So it's going to have stuff coming off of it. Same with over here, probably. I'll need to figure out the buildings in this area. I'm going to need more buildings along that. these down so they're actually grounded a little bit better. But this one's floating now. Sliding these over definitely created some floating. Maybe this one. Maybe this one's gonna have. Some kind of no, I don't want that still. Some kind of like fenced in area. Oops. Hold it. Can I actually... Hold on a second. Did I just... Where'd that go? No, it's not subtracting it. Huh. For a second there, with the difference, subtract, and stuff, I thought I discovered I could Boolean stuff out, and that was going to save me so much time making windows, but apparently not. Although Booleans in I know in Maya are a nightmare. I avoid them like the plague, but if the subtraction worked similar to how BSP subtraction works in Unreal, I would have been a super happy world builder, but I'll have to I have to dive into the documentation because I never noticed that, and if that's actually a thing, I will be happy. Duplicate and mirror. How that is mirroring X, I don't know. Right, that mirrored correctly. Sometimes, Pro Builder, you drive me insane. How is that mirroring X? How was that okay, I didn't realize that was rotated. I don't understand how it's rotated because I didn't rotate it. Camera's doing the weird Unity, hey, I'm gonna slightly rotate just to annoy you thing. Like, those lines should be straight. They're obviously not. So annoying when it does that. Oop. When you want to delete a face, you hit backspace, not delete. Which, in Maya, you can hit backspace or delete, and I hit delete by default. So that is why you consistently see me accidentally deleting objects. Oh, I wish I could edge slide. That'll definitely be something I'll have to clean up in... What the hell? In Maya. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out when I have more of a more of an ability to make the modifications I want. Or is that going to work? No. Yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. This building is out a little too much. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to move this. I'm trying to line that with that angle. And then this. That one. This building will definitely need some more edits. But kind of getting close to a point where I want to save and grab lunch because I'm getting kind of hungry. Cool. Alright, before I wrap up for today, let's take a run around in the zone, see how it looks. Oh, did I turn on? Turned off maximize on play. Okay, let me cheat my way over there real quick. Ooh, that moved off. I need to fix that. I need to finish this building up too at some point. So this would be the main entrance. There's also the smaller entrance over there. Little shop fronts would be in these spots. Walk in, there'd be spots there. Some spots coming off of these. This one that we just worked on. This courtyard could probably be a little bit bigger. I could probably pull it out a little bit further. And then there'd be a way into that shop. More shop space. Again, more theme. Like this row needs more. Would need more buildings. This area I think is going to be more kind of just like those housing type buildings. That I've been working on. So hopefully these will, like, these streets will feel a little bit more full with kind of stuff hanging off the buildings, kind of leaning over the playable space. Might pull this out a meter. The entrance into there. This could probably move over a little bit. Need to fix the ground here. You can see there's a seam. I think this will be a different fountain. I just put this here because I was like, I want this to be some sort of like town square fountain-y area. That's floating. Got another floater. Okay, let's clean up those. And then I'm going to wrap up the stream after that. Let's hop back over real quick. That one. That was one of our floaters, as was that one. There we go. What was the other thing I wanted to do? Move this out. Oops. So I grab the right axis. There. There's another one. I don't know if there was, I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to do. I do not remember. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that for now. Oh, hold on a second. That should not be like that. I missed couple faces when I did that. Oops. Nope. There we go. That is better. Don't know about this. I might move that to there, or maybe just like that. Oops. Cool. Alright guys, I am going to start saving, and for anybody who was not here earlier while I shared the links and stuff and is newer to the project, we are making a game called Monsters and Memories. It is an indie MMORPG that is very much inspired by the classic first generation MMOs, so you know, EverQuest, Ultima Online, Meridia 59, Asheron's Call, like that generation of MMOs. So that is kind of what we're shooting for in terms of the feel and the gameplay and stuff like that. Also kind of keeping the aesthetic to some degree, that kind of old school chunky blockiness, but updating it a little bit at the same time. So if you guys are interested, the link I just put in chat is our website. There's also some information about the game. There's images, videos, that type of thing. Also, kind of breakdowns on all the team members as well. Also, if you'd like to stay up to date, you can join our Discord. We have got a pretty decent sized community right now. There's about 1,000 people. I think we need like 3 more people to break that 1,000 threshold. We have all sorts of conversations in there, whether it's about our game or other games that are in development or already released, or just game design in general. We have conversations about like tabletop gaming and you know, just art in general. We have a community section where you can share your own fan art or just, you know, art in general. Stuff's always really fun to see. It's, you know, really inspiring. So it's always awesome when you guys do that. We have a mailing list if you'd like to stay up to date on the game's development but don't really want to join. And I'm sorry, I'm saying every 2 seconds. My brain is shutting down. I need food. But if you wanted to stay up to date on the game's development but not join the Discord, that's a way to do that. Also, as I go again, excuse me, I am not in the mental. My brain is needs food. Anyways, we also have the goal of trying to get some community members in to help us test some stuff by the end of the year. So if you are interested in potentially getting in on that, you'll want to join the mailing list if you haven't already. We also have other team members that stream various points of the game's development. My streams are specifically environment art and level design based. So if you are interested in that, just throw a follow to the channel and you'll get notifications whenever it goes live. We also have a YouTube channel. You can get caught up on past streams. I am way behind. I need to sit down and just put up a whole mass of those. I'll probably do that tonight or this weekend sometime. So there should be a mass of those coming out from my past like 2 weeks of streams. So look out for those. But yeah, if you want to do get caught up on anybody else's streams, those are available as well. If you are watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, so that we we'll we engage with the comments and stuff. So please remember to do that. Also, it helps us with the algorithm and stuff to get the game out to more people. So we appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to participate in the live chats that I have going on during the streams, there should be somewhere down below a link to my Discord. Paytus the Ranger on Twitch, or not my Discord, my Twitch stream. My God, my brain is just shutting down as I'm speaking. It's like melting out of my ears. The headphones are just keeping it so you guys don't see it. But somewhere in the descriptions there should be a link to my Twitch page. Throw it a follow. You'll get a notification whenever I go live. Currently my streaming schedule is Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I've been doing the Friday stream like today around 9 or 10 a.m. I don't have a solid schedule for that. In a couple weeks, my schedule will get shaken up for a 2-week section while I have a summer course that I'm teaching. So when that's going on, I'll probably just be doing evening streams. But I'll remind you guys about that as we get closer to that. But other than that, guys, that's all I have for today's stream. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope to catch you guys on Monday. Later. Have a good